Aiming at an alarming rate. One local hospital returning to visitor restrictions as COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations rise. And as the virus surges back, so does the anxiety.
A mother of two killed in a head-on crash.
She was an incredible, amazing, intelligent woman.
The family now sharing why they may never get closure.
A suspected drunk driver caught on camera. Police dash cam showing the driver drifting into the next lane before a pursuit.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
And we want to get to that new CDC guidance on masks and what it means for our area. This is a map of how quickly the virus is spreading around the nation.
The CDC saying today everyone, including the vaccinated, should wear masks indoors where cases are surging. The red portions here show where transmissibility is high. And if we zoom into that, Bexar County, outlined in this gray outline here, is in that red portion. Metro Health showing just how quickly this virus is spreading. On Friday, 418 COVID-19 patients were hospitalized. Tonight, that number is up to 585. 5% of staffed beds are available for patients in and around San Antonio.
We are now seeing an average of 589 COVID-19 cases per day, according to the 7-day average.
And along with the numbers trending upward, so are COVID anxieties for some people. Once again on the rise, just as students prepare to go back to school.
The Night Team's Patty Santos talks to a mental health expert who says it's okay to have that fear and to talk openly about those concerns.
I ended up waiting a little bit longer than I should have.
Kenneth Weber is back at a pop-up clinic for his second COVID-19 shot.
Now that Delta is circulating, it's more important than ever to get out and get that second vaccination.
And he's not alone in feeling uneasy about the rising trend in COVID infection, says mental health advocate Tally Dolge.
I think that there's so many mixed messages right now out there, and so many people right now are talking about, am I doing the right thing?
Today's announcement from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention muddying the waters even more. It is now reversing its indoor mask guidance, saying fully vaccinated people and kids should wear them while indoors.
There's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers right now.
Dolge helps connect people with affordable mental health counseling through the Jewish Family Service. She says it's important to have self-compassion about what you're feeling and how your body might be reacting to your anxiety. Express your concerns out loud to family and friends or a therapist.
I've had a couple of conversations today personally with some parents who are really scared about sending their kids back to school.
She says be honest with children who may also be experiencing uneasiness.
Be real and say, you know what, I'm a little concerned about this too. I'm a little scared because I don't know what's going on, but we're going to figure this out together.
Weber says he's back to wearing his mask and is glad he made the time to take care of his second shot.
I found time. I made time today. Everybody can make some time. It doesn't take too long.
And for those parents who are sending their kids back to school and still have some anxiety, she says simply talk to administrators about your concerns until you feel comfortable moving forward with the school year. And if you still have some anxiety and you need some resources, we have them on KSAT.com. Myra?
All right, thank you, Patty. The increase in hospitalizations and the rapid rise in coronavirus cases leading University Health to reenact COVID-19 visitor restrictions. University Hospital will not allow visitors unless they are deemed necessary to a patient's care. Those exceptions still limit the number of visitors, and all visitors will need to wear a mask at all times. University says anyone visiting must be 14 years and older to meet screening criteria. We have all the details on the updated restrictions online at KSAT.com.
A woman found dead, one man in the hospital tonight. It's how a standoff ended overnight. The investigation expected to lead to more answers. The identities of both the man shot and the woman found dead have now been released. Investigators say 28-year-old Angel Sanchez was taken to a hospital in critical condition. Officers say he threatened to kill the mother of his infant son as well as himself. It all happened around 9 last night at a Southside home on Roosevelt near VFW Boulevard. Inside that home, 3 children ranging in age from an infant to a 15-year-old. Investigators say officers shot Sanchez as he left that home with a gun. He was taken to the hospital. A woman found at the scene could not be saved. She was identified as 29-year-old Nightbeat. Her cause of death has not been released. We'll continue to update you on this case both on air and online at KSAT.com.
Heat and humidity leading to a robust response to a fire at a West Side home today. That fire leading to the death of one dog inside. Firefighters responded to a home on Chulita Street. Investigators believe flames sparked up in a utility room toward the back of the house where the damage was contained. A woman and 2 children inside were able to get out of that house safely. Crews tried to use oxygen to revive the dog, but were unsuccessful. Today's heat playing a role in the response. Firefighters say as temperatures and humidity rise, so will the number of units dispatched to fire calls.
Several children wandering on the street alerting police to a bloody scene. Officers say the 3 children were wandering alone on East Houston Street around 3 this morning. They eventually led investigators to the Antioch Village apartments where their mother was found alive in a bathtub, but she had wounds to her stomach and legs. Marcella Hayes, a trauma-focused certified counselor at the Children's Bereavement Center of South Texas, says traumatic events for children like this could lead to serious issues down the line.
Well, there could be ongoing anxiety, depression, emotional distress, not understanding what a healthy relationship looks like.
Police are not sure how much the children actually witnessed. When they first found the children, they told police they believed their mother was dead. It is not clear who actually hurt that woman.
An attack in the courtroom yesterday becoming the focal point at the start of the punishment phase of the Otis McKane trial today. McKane could be seen throwing his elbow at a Bexar County deputy, Isidro Gonzalez, moments after he was convicted for killing San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi. Deputy Gonzalez told the court when testifying today that he had been escorting McKane to and from the courtroom for over a year and had never seen this type of behavior. He says he knew something was wrong when McKane began to unbutton his shirt after the verdict was read.
And what were you concerned about?
Him either trying to take a weapon from one of us and trying to escape. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. You know, he's getting violent. I mean, it's just the safety of everybody else in here.
Sheriff Salazar telling us today that deputy is doing okay. The punishment phase of the trial is expected to continue tomorrow. This is a capital murder offense, so the death penalty is an option for jurors. Court expected to resume at 9 tomorrow morning. You can continue to watch the live stream of all the proceedings at KSAT.com.
A head-on crash leaving 2 children without a mother. One of those children also in the hospital tonight, along with their father. 27-year-old Kayla Moen was killed in Fredericksburg over the weekend after police say a man in a pickup truck crashed into the family. The Night Team's Japhanie Gray speaks with Moen's relatives tonight.
She had a fire in her that was undescribable.
Stormy Boner Batts is the first cousin of the woman you see here. Her name is Kayla Danae Moen, a 27-year-old devoted wife and mother of 2. Batts says that she was big on family, very intelligent, and very funny with her strict attention to detail.
Numbers or sayings or colors in order. She'd be like, no, we can't do that, or that's not an even number. Her money wasn't turned the right way.
Batts now relying on memories after what happened Saturday night. Batts says Moen, her husband, 3-year-old daughter, and 2-year-old son were on their way to Walmart in Fredericksburg. They were driving along State Highway 16 when a pickup truck hit the minivan the Moen family was in.
And I said, what? She said, Kayla Danae was killed in a head-on collision tonight, and her babies were lifeless. And I felt like I couldn't breathe.
Moen's daughter is still in the hospital with 2 broken legs. Her husband also in the hospital riddled with broken bones, a hole in his lung, and a shattered hip. Fredericksburg police identified the driver of the pickup truck as 38-year-old David Rodriguez. Police saying the truck's headlights were off at the time of the crash. Both Rodriguez and Moen died at the scene.
Even if the lights were just on, they could have at least got out of the way. But they didn't even have that option.
Police also looking into whether Rodriguez had anything to drink before the crash.
We obviously don't get answers of why he did it. We don't get that justice. And that's not fair. We can't get her life back.
The family says that the father has a long road of recovery ahead of him, including many surgeries, saying that he's expected to be in the hospital at least 1 to 2 months with years of rehabilitation after that. In the meantime, the family raising funds to afford funeral and medical expenses. Jackie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
Another day pretty close to average, but just slightly shy. 94 the high temperature, the average is 96, and even earlier this morning, we were 1 degree below average. Right now, not bad, fairly seasonable, some upper 70s, most of us lower 80s. Divine at 80, Stinson 82, 82 Seguin, and Bulverde. Bernie, meanwhile, at 79. Tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to readings in the mid 70s, partly cloudy. Of course, you'll notice the humidity. And overall, this fairly quiet weather pattern is going to continue, but there are a few little exceptions to talk about. We'll get to that along with those rain chances coming up.
Thank you, Adam. More changes expected in this phase of the pandemic. Still ahead on the Nightbeat. The effort that President Joe Biden is now considering in the fight against a rise in cases.
And a driver caught swerving in and out of his lane. Castle Hills police releasing new video of a suspected drunk driver trying to make his escape. That's next on the Nightbeat.
Police will tell you it's an issue our community has not been able to escape. Cases of driving while drunk continue to pile up. Castle Hills police saying San Antonio consistently ranks in the top 10 for most drunk drivers. This truck left behind as the suspected drunk driver ran from the scene. Castle Hills police releasing new video in a call from December in hopes of deterring the dangerous behavior. One Castle Hills officer says he first saw the suspect driving along Loop 410 when he began to swerve over onto his shoulder, then back into his lane. He swerves again near the airport exit before police put on their lights and then their siren. That driver refuses to stop, eventually gets off the highway, heads into a neighborhood, runs a stop sign before making his way onto the frontage road. He then ends up jumping a curb on a turnaround lane and crashing into a concrete pillar. That driver tries to run but doesn't make it very far. There you see the crash where he hits the pillar. Right there. He's eventually caught. He's taken to jail. Castle Hills police reminding you to drink responsibly and plan for a safe ride home.
Another change could be on the horizon as coronavirus cases rise. President Joe Biden considering a COVID-19 vaccine requirement for federal employees. People who refuse vaccination would have to submit to regular testing and other mitigation efforts. The Department of Veterans Affairs is implementing a similar policy. The Justice Department is preparing to defend such requirements in court. An announcement from the president could come as early as Thursday.
We have a pandemic because of the unvaccinated, and they're sowing enormous confusion.
Los Angeles now requiring city workers to show proof of vaccination or face weekly testing. The city of San Antonio and Bexar County also looking into the legalities of similar protocols here at home.
Meanwhile, RSV is a virus that can be deadly for young children. Methodist Children's Hospital noticing a rise in patients with that illness. The virus can cause more severe infections in infants, such as bronchiolitis, pneumonia. There were only 14 cases of RSV reported in July of 2019. No cases reported last year during the pandemic. Dr. Tariq Patel with Methodist says this July more than 150 children have tested positive for RSV at Methodist Children's Hospital alone.
And it's so high that we've started giving the premature infants the RSV shot that we normally give them to help prevent them from having severe complications related to RSV.
Covering your sneezes with a tissue, hand washing precautions that parents can take, cleaning frequently touched surfaces such as doorknobs and mobile devices also helpful. If a child is sick, Dr. Patel says you should monitor their symptoms and call a pediatrician if those symptoms become more severe.
Let's take a look outside with Sky 12 tonight, flying high above the Tower of the Americas there downtown. Not a whole lot of rain to talk about, so of course, now's the time of year, should be the time of year, right, when we're talking about how hot it is out there.
Yeah, and we're not looking at triple digits anytime soon. Actually, you're going to be surprised to see who was much hotter than we were today. We're going to get to that in a moment. Our headlines, slight chances of rain. They're still in the forecast, a few scattered about here and there. It's just minor chances. Seasonal temperatures, though, temperatures really close to average, and the tropics. I know we haven't showed you the maps of the Atlantic in a long time because there's nothing out there, no even little waves to monitor for potential development, at least not yet. I want to get to lake levels really quickly. We all know the rain has been good for us over the past several months. Medina Lake Reservoir, though, 35% full, and that's 38 feet below the conservation pool. Now, keep in mind, Medina Lake Reservoir has a very small watershed. You need heavy rainfall in a very specific part of Bandera County to really help pump that up. So it's used to big fluctuations. Canyon 95% full, and that's 2.5 feet below the conservation pool. Few rain chances tomorrow. We give it about a 20%. And no chance Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, 10%, and Tuesday, early next week, a 20% chance. So minor little rain chances, but better than nothing by July standards around here. Today we did have a few showers, especially closer to Houston. Still some ongoing activity there. But in parts of the hill country, Edwards Plateau, we got clipped by a few showers and some thunderstorms. Nothing severe, just some heavy rain with some lightning and thunder. So we're looking east of Junction earlier today, 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall. That was today's 10%. Tomorrow, we'll just add a few more of those on the radar screen during the afternoon and evening. There's that activity still hanging on closer to Houston. We'll get some leftover clouds from that blowing our way, so partly cloudy overnight, but the actual rainfall is going to continue to dissipate as it heads westward. What we're still watching, same thing as last night, is this upper level swirl, which was over the central Gulf. Now moving into Mexico, this kick-started numerous showers and thunderstorms today. A little too far to the south of us, but that combined with the little wave of energy coming in from Louisiana that kick-started their thunderstorms today will give us that slight chance tomorrow. And one of the reasons we're even seeing the slight chance is the big blue H, upper level high. It's way north of us. I mean, we're talking the northern plains, the Dakotas, and Wyoming. So with the clockwise flow around it, that opens the door for disturbances. But that's where the heat is. Pierce, South Dakota, high temperature of 108 today. Billings, Montana, 106. Look at us. We were 94 in San Antonio. Dallas, up to 102. So the core of the heat is off to the north of us. And around here, we're looking at seasonable temperatures. Right now, 82 Uvalde and Gonzales and Pleasanton, Cotulla up to 87. We did hit triple digits in Laredo, Del Rio, and Cotulla earlier today. Of course, you feel the humidity out there. We're getting the typical break later in the day west of San Antonio, Del Rio, Rock Springs, and Uvalde. But overnight tonight, you'll get a resurgence of that mugginess. So tomorrow we'll start the day at 75. Then we'll make it up to 94 in the afternoon. Just that 20% chance of a few isolated afternoon thunder showers, and then dry in mid-90s. Remember, the average is 96, and we're going to be plus or minus about 1 degree to round out the work week and get into the weekend. And longer range trends indicate below average temperatures likely even as we get into early August.
Don't mind it. Thanks, Adam.
All right, let's go to California right now. And Greg Simmons has seen a lot in the time that he's been going to Cowboys camp. And there was something today, Greg, that you were amazed at.
Yeah, and I've never seen before. It's just a scary moment. It happened when Michael Gallup was going for a touchdown pass in practice, and instead of going through the fence, he went over the fence. It's something you see in baseball, but you rarely ever see that in football. And we go one-on-one with quarterback Jordan Lewis, and we'll talk about that play and more when we come back. Michael Gallup goes head over heels in the Cowboys training camp today. Is he okay? It's time to go camping with KSAT.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to our live coverage of the Dallas Cowboys training camp here in Oxnard, California. What happened today made us all catch our collective breath as we were on the other side of the fence when Michael Gallup came crashing into it and then went over. The Cowboys were working on their timing on the corner plays in this afternoon's practice when Dak Prescott put it up for Michael Gallup and can't get it. Then over the fence he goes. He would land on his feet, sit there for a minute before he tries to get up and walk and the trainers tell him stay down. Here's another look at it. It appears Trayvon Diggs got a hand on it, and Gallup had a decision to make, crash into the fence or go over. He chose over, taking the gut punch before he going head over heels. He would eventually get back to his feet, walk it off before he returned to workouts, where it could have been a lot worse. The defense did have their way with the offense today, with not one but 3 interceptions off of Dak Prescott. The first by Trayvon Diggs after it bounces off of Noah Brown. How about that? Then Maurice Kennedy makes a diving robbery, the second off of Dak, and then this one by DeMonte Casey, and he's able to return that for a touchdown. We continue now for the Dallas Cowboys training camp with one of our all-time favorites, quarterback Jordan Lewis. Jordan, thanks for being with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Well, this is great. Did you see Michael Gallup go head over heels over the fence, and what were you thinking when you saw that?
Hopefully get up, man. I mean, I'm glad he was athletic enough to get over it, but then he was down there, so we're just happy he got up.
Now, do you think he made a conscious decision to kind of hit it and roll at the time, or what do you think he was thinking?
Oh no, he definitely thought I'm gonna get over this. Yeah. And that's for sure. He thought I'm gonna get. I had to. He had too much momentum going over there, so he had to make a decision fast.
So the defense is obviously a little bit ahead of the offense, and demonstrated today where you guys had 3 interceptions off of Dak. Is that surprising to you at all?
I mean, I wouldn't say surprising. I mean, it feels good to to see that we're so far ahead that of training camp. But I mean, I wouldn't say surprising. That's our standard. Coach Dan Quinn told us we have to play at a high standard, and today was one of those days.
All right, give me an idea of how different it is playing for him versus other defensive coordinators you've obviously played for here on the team.
I mean, you can tell that he has conviction with the guys he has in the room, and he's content with the guys he has in the room, and he's ready to roll.
Are you impressed with the speed of practice? It seems a lot faster than we've seen in the past.
No, I mean, we set that precedence in OTAs. I mean, we definitely thought that we can do some really good things and jump ahead of other teams in training camp and get ahead of some game management things and just go out there and go full speed as you've seen.
Were you surprised the Cowboys re-signed you? I mean, did you walk in one day and go, where did he go?
I mean, it's crazy that I was the one. I mean, I was right in the middle of that draft class, and me and Jarwin and Noah Brown are the only ones here. So I mean, me being the only one on the defensive end, and it is pretty crazy. I was really surprised.
Of all the criticism you had after last season, do you think this defense, in fact, do you think this entire team is going to be much better this year?
I mean, I feel like we have the mindset, the mentality to, and we definitely have the talent. So I feel like if we all stay healthy, we definitely can get it done.
Good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
All right, here's a look at the Cowboys schedule and a big day tomorrow, the first day in pads. That's when the hitting starts. Thanks to Jordan Lewis for signing our camp board. They'll be used to help the Society of St. Vincent de Paul raise money to feed the homeless and working poor of Bexar County. Don't forget the Haney & Company Golf Tournament for St. Vinny's Bistro on August the 23rd at the Quarry. Coming up, where's DeMar DeRozan headed? Next. It does not sound like DeMar DeRozan is going to be back with the Spurs anytime soon. That's not after what he told Shannon Sharpe on his podcast today. He is revealing that he wants to play for a contender since the 31-year-old guard has never made it to the NBA Finals, traded away from Toronto for Kawhi Leonard when the Raptors won their first NBA title, and that's after he missed the playoffs the last 2 seasons with the Spurs. Since DeMar grew up in Southern California, one of the teams being mentioned are the Lakers, but he would have to take a little pay cut down from his $27 million a year's salary. Here's a look at the latest medal count for the Olympics in Japan. China has taken the overall lead with 10 gold with 23 overall medals. Japan at 10 as well with 19. USA with 9 gold but 25 overall medals. It's been another great day in Cowboys camp. We'll see you tomorrow. Live in California, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
Greg, whatever you do not try what Michael Gallup did, okay? Just for me. Don't try that there.
No. No. I wouldn't do it for you anyway. No, or me.
Good call, Greg. Good call. We'll be right back.
We'll start the day tomorrow in the mid-70s. Del Rio, though, by the afternoon, back up to 100. 95 Pleasanton, Canyon Lake about 95 as well. Most of us mid-90s by the afternoon.
All right, thanks, Adam.
That's it for the Nightbeat, GMSA at 4:30.
Have a good night.